guys, Toastie here, Get Burnt. Today I'm going to be doing a video with a special guest, someone who I've never done a video with before. Do you want to introduce yourself? And obviously for people on your channel, they already know you're here, but yeah, you want to say it?
What's going on, everybody? It is UnrealEntGaming, and for those of you out there on my channel, I am welcoming ZzToastie. We are finally doing a collaboration, sharing our thoughts and opinions on Dragon Ball Super Episode 14. A lot of emotion, a lot of different characteristics from the show and the movie. Now, I want to get like your overall thoughts and opinions on this, because I know your opinions are going to be very different than how you feel about the show and the movie as comparison. So, my first question to you is, what are your thoughts on the current status on both Goku and Beerus being compared to their Battle of Gods counterparts in terms of how the battle played off from both the movie and the show?
Well, I like a lot more that they decided to keep Super Saiyan God for such a longer duration, because in Battle of Gods, it was so short. It was like, as soon as they went underground, Goku instantly lost Super Saiyan God out of nowhere. He went right back to base form. And in Super, when Goku went to Super Saiyan, it kind of just faded away and it showed the Super Saiyan aura under Super Saiyan God, which I think was a really nice touch. And I really like Beerus' personality a lot more than him in Battle of Gods. In Battle of Gods, it made him seem a lot more childish, and I guess that a lot of people really kind of like that charm more. But I really like the kind of savage, very, I guess, dark personality of Beerus. I think that really adds to his character, makes him a little bit more interesting, even though he is neutral. Like, he's still neutral, guys. He's not evil. He's still a neutral dude, although he is a cold person, and I guess you would have to be a cold person if you wanted to be the god of destruction. So I do like the personality change that they gave to Beerus. And for Goku, he's not that much change. He still doesn't like the Super Saiyan God power because he didn't earn it on his own. He said so in the end of episode 14, but I think that him having that power for longer really was a nice touch as well. And entirely for the comparison between Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Super, I really did enjoy Battle of Gods is like, you know, underground sequence. Absolutely. As well as the You Will Not Destroy My World. That is just like one of the most signature parts of the Dragon. Yeah, a lot of people really love that scene, and I do as well. Although I do like Super a lot for its choreography throughout the episode, because, you know, the fight actually lasted a lot longer than in Battle of Gods. And I just really like that a lot more, honestly. Even though You Will Not Destroy My World is an amazing scene and will always have a place in my heart because it's like one of the best parts of Dragon Ball in my opinion, I still really like Super more than the movie. But yeah, that's
some people out there are actually going to argue with him, and they might say, well, in terms of overall storytelling, Battle of Gods told more of a story in terms of like how the Saiyans wanted to pursue the Super Saiyan God-like form, and they had to go through a lot. And I think the show also executed that very good. Granted, I understand where you're coming from with the whole I will not destroy my world, because that right there signified how much passion Goku had for his planet, for his people, and we got to see a little glimmer of that as he was coming down from the heavens, as he was falling down back to Earth. And I just feel like the entirety from episode 11 up until episode 14 told that, you know, raw emotion of this guy, this Saiyan, who wanted to pretty much prove to Beerus, this entity, that he could not only, you know, go toe-to-toe with him, but even, you know, push Beerus to his very brinks of his power, because Beerus was the first to admit, like, wow, like, you're one of the first people to actually push me this far, even though the only thing that I don't get thus far is if you go back to episodes, I believe 12 and 13, Beerus tells Goku, yeah, I'm using my full power, and then episode 14, he's like, nah, I'm not really using all of my power here. So, yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from in terms of, like, the respects of, I will not let you destroy my world, but I think what made up for that, in my opinion, is when Vegeta caught Goku in his arms. That was such a signifying moment, dude. It was like, you put your rivalry aside just to, you know, catch someone from the moment of, like, you know, I guess you could say defeat, because he was defeated. Vegeta even told him, he was like, I gave you my power, dude, and you still lost.
No, I really love when Vegeta actually says, because Goku says thanks, and Vegeta says, shut
up,
you stole my power and you lost with it, or whatever, or you got your ass kicked. And I'm like, that's really awesome. I really like how they showed Vegeta's character at that point. That was really awesome. Yeah, there was just some parts of Battle of Gods that were like so awesome and signature that they were just left out of Super. And I mean, this one wasn't really left out, but it was just like so underdone in Super. You know when Videl first says that she's pregnant when the Super Saiyan God ritual was happening, and Gohan in the movie
was excited. Yep.
Yeah, Gohan in the movie was so excited, and that was such like it was I don't even want to use this word, but a whimsical moment, and that was actually a really cool moment in Battle of Gods. A lot of fans have a lot of love for that moment, and in Super that was so underdone.
Yeah, he was just like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, and it kind of made up for it a little bit when Gohan actually told Goku that he was going to be a father, and, you know, Goku...
That was such a great... because he was scared. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah, he didn't know how Goku react, and then Goku just smiled and said, make sure to eat lots of food. So, it was made up a little bit with that scene, although the scene in Battle of Gods with Gohan, knowing that Videl is pregnant and being so happy about it was really nice, and that was really great. And as I said before, there are some things as well in Super that were really dragged out that didn't need to be dragged out. Pilaf's stuff was really dragged out. Oolong's rock, paper, scissors thing with BRS, that lasted like 17 minutes of a whole
dragged
episode.
out as well, yep.
Yeah, that wasn't really needed. Some things in the beginning part of the Battle of God saga were not needed as much. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about episode 5's animation. That is a part of Battle of Gods that was really short, but then it was stretched out to a whole episode of Super, and obviously it seemed very rushed. And then after that, though, after the entire Super Saiyan God ritual was stretched out to one episode, that seemed like that it decided to really make itself known as somewhat of a at least equal version. I don't know if people would still say that the Battle of Gods is superior to it in every way.
Absolutely, yep.
But in terms of, honestly, I would say 10, even though it was a really short, and not even short, but a really slow battle between Goku and Beerus, because, it was like one punch and Goku would dodge it and then flick Beerus on the head. It was really cool that they added the touch of Goku saying, I'm paying you back for what happened on King Kai's planet.
You're building it up, exactly.
Because Goku never did anything like that in the movies. Like, I'm paying you back for what happened on King Kai's planet when he flicked Goku's forehead and he went through and got knocked away. Like, that sort of thing, that was really cool. I mean, see Goku say that he's paying him back for everything he did. That was really awesome.
And another thing that you just pointed out is the fact that if you look at the slow build-up, I mean, sometimes it's good to have slow build-up because you don't want to rush into the action right away, because in Battle of Gods, there wasn't that moment where Goku's like, yeah, I'm going to pay you back. It was more like, all right, let's fight. We go here, there, we're in the atmosphere, and that's it. It's done. I think that Super also focused, thus far at least, it focused a lot on character development. You're saying that the prolonged, events with Oolong and whatnot, like everything being extended, I do agree. It did take up a lot of time, but also for those people out there that complained about, well, Piccolo's not getting enough time, Gohan's not getting enough time, certain characters finally got to have at least a little bit of, like, shine, because we haven't really seen much of them in the first place. And how many people out there really care about Tien and what happens with, Ox and Chi-Chi and all that kind of stuff? Like, people don't really pay attention too much about that, but now finally, especially going into episode 15, we're going to get to see little snippets of not only our main characters, but the sub-characters, because remember, Dragon Ball wasn't solely based on just Goku, Vegeta. Like, it was created from, like, the sub-characters, from Bulma, from Yamcha, from all these other characters, Oolong,
don't forget Roshi. He was a real asset in Dragon Ball.
Absolutely, really, and I really hope that they get to utilize Roshi a lot in the Resurrection F arc.
Yeah, I mean, they did it in the movie, so I really can't see them not including Roshi, Tien, all of them, because they all fought in Resurrection F. Even though they fought Frieza soldiers, they still had their screen time, and they had a lot of cool moments. Roshi, especially, Roshi had some of the funniest lines in the movie. He had some of the funniest lines. He had one of the most badass ones when he put his cane, he stuck it into the ground, he jumped up above the Frieza soldiers as they jumped to the cane, and he did a Kamehameha down on them.
He was actually able to keep up with the rest of the fighters. That right there blew my mind. And the fact that he's still up to his, perverted ways. He's still the Roshi that we've known from Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, and it was really cool to see him fight alongside Gohan, who I believe at that time was possibly the strongest in that group, even though he wasn't in his ultimate form. It was really cool to know that the master of his father is still standing alongside him, helping him fight these men. And again, what you pointed out to Vegeta's character is finally getting more recognition because he caught Goku. How many times would we have ever seen Vegeta catch Goku in any situation? When he fought Boo, never did it. When he fought Cell, never did it. But my question to you is, why do you think Vegeta decided to catch Goku in his arms as he was coming down? Because, he stated to Goku that he wanted to unlock the Super Saiyan God power naturally on his own. So what other motives do you think he has, as he saw Goku plummet down from the sky? Like, what do you think he was thinking at that moment? Like, why should I catch this dude?
As Vegeta says in Fukatsu no F, he says that he can't kill Goku, or he can't allow Goku to die, because Goku is what pushes him to better himself and do much better in his training and everything like that. And it's true. Vegeta usually uses Goku as a motivation in order to try and, make himself stronger. And I think that he doesn't want to, do the ritual because he doesn't want to be second hand to Goku doing exactly what Goku did.
Absolutely.
He wants to surpass that power on his own, and obviously it doesn't seem, at least from what the knowledge that we have right now, it doesn't seem like the power of a Super Saiyan God can be surpassed without doing the ritual, because everyone thought that Vegeta did the ritual and that's how he was able to become a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan in Fukatsu no F. Obviously this is going to most likely be shown and talked about in the future episodes, because it does highlight when Vegeta becomes a pupil of Whis, as well as when Goku becomes a pupil of Whis, so it's gonna probably give more background as to how Vegeta is actually be able to achieve God form without doing the ritual. So this is going to be something that's pretty interesting. It maybe has something to do with Whis. Maybe Whis does something. We have no real idea yet, but it could really be something awesome. One thing that they did leave out as well, though, out of the arc that I thought was kind of weird, was that they actually left out the fact that Whis is stronger than Beerus.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And the fact that Whis is even Beerus' teacher. They left that out completely. That was in Battle of Gods. Beerus said that Whis is also his teacher. Here, it was never mentioned.
And
it wasn't
the
even mentioned that
multiverses.
he's stronger. Yeah, there was no mention of other gods as well. Beerus in Battle of Gods said that there are 12 universes, and some even have stronger fighters than Beerus and Whis. And like, that was completely left out of Super. Obviously, we know that there's going to be other universes and stuff in Super, though, because we already have confirmation from a while ago of the Universe 6 arc with Champa.
Yep.
But we really never got anything there for that. Maybe that's the reason why, because we already supposed to know about Champa, especially since he's been in the manga, like, every single chapter. But, like, I mean, they just didn't even mention it. So that's something that's pretty interesting, honestly.
And that's the thing as well. I believe that they might change the Resurrection arc as well, because if you look at what happened from the movie to the show thus far for Battle of Gods, a lot has changed, man. I mean, for the better, some for the worse in essence, but for Resurrection F, don't expect to see the exact same replica that we've seen in the movie, because again, they might change it for the better. Perhaps maybe this time we're going to get to see an actual fight between God Vegeta and Frieza be extended, because how awesome was it when you sat there and you saw Vegeta kick his ass and you were just like, yo, this is awesome, like the payback for how you killed me, for how you destroyed my planet. So I just think that they ought to extend that just a little bit, because it gives Vegeta more of an in-depth look on how he's able to fight as a god. Another thing as well is like the gods. As of this point, we're not entirely too sure if they're going to go on ahead and do 12 other universes. I mean, there might be 7, there might be a little less than that, there might be more. It's all in Akira Toriyama's hands, because if he decides to make 12 or, you know, more universes than that, it's up to him. But what really didn't catch my eye really well was the ending of episode 14, when we get to see the quote-unquote Super Saiyan Hercule, which kind of like just really blew my mind. I was like, what is this? I mean, I just have two theories behind that. Either A, it's a dream, or, you know, B, it's just in his imagination, like he imagined himself fighting Beerus, and Beerus being, you know, that other godlike Xenoverse mod that we saw. You know, it was just insane. And so, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of people are really thinking, yo, Hercule's a Super Saiyan, when in reality he's not even a Saiyan. It's just there's no plausible evidence for that.
Remember in the Android Saga when Hercule took credit for killing Cell,
Absolutely.
even though Gohan did it, and they did that reenactment with like the people with the big heads, you know, the bobblehead, like kind of doll. Costume thing,
absolutely,
where they acted out the battle as if Hercule was the actual like hero of the fight.
It's his pride and his ego.
That's what I think it is, because the character that is fighting against Hercule in space in the preview looks like Beerus. When you look at it without the wings and the color, it looks exactly like Beerus. So he's kind of doing it from, I guess, base memory, what he thought Beerus looked like or whatever, and he's pretty much saying that he fought him in space. Obviously, it's exaggerated with him getting golden hair and stuff like that. But,
oh my goodness, man. And maybe he's doing it for that interview, because remember he was supposed to do that interview?
He said he's doing a press conference about how he's like saving the world, because he said he saved the world in the episode prior. So, you know, it's just gonna be another one of Hercule's like made up things saying he saved the world or whatever, to get him even more recognition and everything like that. But, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll share that money that he gets with Goku. But yeah, that's really probably what it is. I mean, a lot of people are thinking, oh yeah, he's really saying no, man.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not,
like,
dude.
That's like saying that Videl was a Saiyan when her hair turned golden. It's like, no, that's not it. It's just that the power, first of all, the power for Videl, the power that was surging through her when the Super Saiyan God ritual was happening, that's what made her hair turn yellow. She wasn't actually a Saiyan. It was the aura,
yep.
And here, this is a like figment of Hercule's imagination, or just a reenactment that it didn't obviously happen. So that's
absolutely, and the fact that he's in space, that should raise a lot of questions right there for you, because he's just a human, and for him to be in space, lingering above space without a jetpack, just flying there, just should raise a lot of questions.
Yeah, how did you feel about the fact that Goku and Beerus seem to be very far in space? I mean, they didn't really just seem to be in the atmosphere like they were in Battle of Gods, because in Battle of Gods they didn't stray too far from Earth. Here they kind of like flew up, they moved a whole lot throughout space and everything like that. If you remember, we saw like little stars of them, which is pretty much showing how fast they're moving, and they're just hitting each other. Funnily enough, Goku is fine in space. But when he's underwater against Beerus, he runs
struggling.
out of breath.
Yeah, that right there
seconds.
blew my mind. I just think that it has to do something with the godlike power because for Beerus, this goes back to episode 1 and 2. We can clearly see that he's able to survive in space because when he cracked that planet in 2, he was out there in the vast void of space, standing there with Whis and just looking upon the planet blowing up. Goku, however, we know that Saiyans can't really survive in space. I just feel as if the god power, the god ritual, had to have altered that a little bit because how do you explain him getting stabbed and then recovering from that? So I just feel as if the godlike form perhaps maybe is allowing him to have some sort of influence to where he can survive in space just briefly.
Actually,
in terms of underwater as well, it's just like I didn't really get that as much. I was like, maybe it's the amounts of pressure that's underneath the water because I don't think in space you're gonna have tremendous amount of pressure come down your body, so maybe it was the pressure going upon Goku's body. Then again, Beerus was beating him up badly down there, so he just I guess like the beatdown kind of wore him off. But like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I thought they were gonna go underneath because once the ground started cracking, I was like, holy crap, this is it. They're gonna go down below. But instead they came back up. So like, why do you think they disincluded that?
Yeah, I just want to also say though, but apparently this came from Todd Blankenship on Twitter, who is the guy who runs, or he's the translator, it seems, for Kanzenshuu.
Yep.
Apparently in the manga, Frieza actually never stated that Goku cannot survive in space. So, and keep in mind, in Dragon Ball, you remember the Rabbit Gang or whatever?
Yes.
When Goku used his power pole to go all the way up to the moon and climbed up to the moon and put them on the moon, yeah, Goku can actually be in space and he's fine. Apparently Saiyans are fine in space, which kind of also explains why Bardock was able to be in space. I mean, you could say he was in the atmosphere or stratosphere or whatever.
Absolutely,
but yeah, like it's apparently they're fine in space, although they cannot live in space. Like they need food and all that stuff. Apparently Frieza, or at least it seems, he doesn't need that to survive in space, which is why actually no, I'm not going to spoil Resurrection F. I guess some people probably haven't seen it and they still won't need to buy the DVD. But yeah, apparently Frieza's kind can survive in space fine, but Saiyans obviously they don't have the essentials in space they need, like, food and everything like that to survive in space. So Goku can probably breathe in space. The only thing I was saying was that because he ran out of breath underwater, but there's no air in space, or at least not, it didn't seem like there was air in space from where they were, as far away from Earth as they were. But, that's just a small thing. I don't know. It could just be an inconsistency. I mean, they probably just wanted to stick to the space thing because, having a battle of Dragon Ball in space is something that we had never had before.
And it's different, yep.
Like,
absolutely.
yeah,
and it's very different.
It was always on a planet, or it was always on Earth. And this is the first time that we got an actual, battle in space. Well, it's Battle of Gods than to this. It was the first time we've had a battle in space. So I guess that they just want to keep that. And I'm glad they kept it because I love that scenario.
And it's also very fitting as well. I mean, looking at Beerus, I think that he was also heavily, influenced in terms of power. Like, I think that he's vastly more powerful than he was in Battle of Gods. And a lot of GT fans out there are gonna, throw in their comments about, well, no matter how powerful he was, no matter how, intense his battle was with Goku, it still doesn't compare to the magnitude and power depths of like someone like Omega Shenron because of the whole multiplier situation. But that's a different subject. But the point being here is that these two were able to destroy the entirety of the universe. Like the very complex of the solar system was going to get just destroyed by these two, and that's something that I don't think we've ever seen before because we've seen what happened with Cell, with Majin Buu blowing up everything left and right, but we never saw like that very moment to where the entirety of the universe was literally at the brink of destruction via two characters, and just by simple punches, dude. Like Goku and Beerus were exchanging punches, and that alone was enough to destroy the entire universe. So that was really awesome to see. So I personally think that the show was just phenomenal thus far. I mean, some people may disagree with us, but for you, like, would you prefer the movie thus far or the show?
Show because it gives a more detailed expression for the fight, because the fight in Battle of Gods was 20 minutes. I mean, a lot of people may see that as long, especially with how good the animation was and everything like that, because it's a movie. It was really good. It was really great for that 20 minutes, but honestly, I really like the episodic sort of take to it, and I like how the fight is stretched out like that, and I don't think that it's a bad thing that the fight is stretched out like this, because each episode seemed to give something different. Episode 11 gave something really amazing and different. Episode 12, 13, and then 14 was a little bit different. It was somewhat of a mixed bag, but it was still something that was very valuable, at least to me, and yeah, that's just really what I think. I think that the Battle of Gods iteration was really good. I will not ever say that Battle of Gods was bad, because I don't think so. I really enjoyed that movie, especially because it was the return of Dragon Ball after so many years.
After years.
Yeah, and now for Super, I really honestly say I can prefer this version over the movie. Now, obviously, that's not a really popular opinion. A lot of people really do not like Super, or at least in terms of, because, you know, animation, or at least it being on TV at the current moment, the animation's
Give it a chance, guys. Give it a chance. Dragon Ball Z wasn't perfect. Go back and watch some of the episodes. Some of the episodes had horrible animation, but people tend to just forget that because the influence of music, the influence of action, and they tend to get clouded of you know.
Oh, hold on. Can we talk about the music real quick? Oh my gosh, ZzToasties, man,
the music was great. The music was freaking great, man.
He knows how to do music, man. In episode 11, episode like 13, 14, all of these episodes, man, he does an amazing job with his score, man. I know that a lot of you probably really love Falconer and everything, and I don't hate Falconer. I think Falconer did a good job with the English dub, especially that's why so many people, or at least
Scott Morgan as well.
Yeah, a lot of people now who watch Toonami really love Falconer's stuff, and I have no problem with that. Although I must say, dude, ZzToasties does a great job with.
No, absolutely, especially Beerus' moments where it's all quiet and subtle, and he just has like that ominous theme. Like for example, when he was gonna flick Goku back into the planet, he stood over him with his finger cocked, and just that music that was hovering over it was just it made it seem like this was it, man. And again, the music in the show, granted, it's not, you know, Falconer based, it's not Scott Morgan, but it is very influential in a way, because you get to actually feel some of these characters out when you get to see like some of these songs come about. In terms of when they fought, like certain times when they fought in the atmosphere and stuff, the music that went along with it was just great. I mean, granted, we're not going to have like the original songs that we had before, but it still makes up for a lot of that. And people tend to forget, and people tend to complain a lot. But remember, if they were to cancel Dragon Ball Super tomorrow, so many people would complain. And they complain regardless, because they're like, oh, well, it doesn't match up to our needs. You can't satisfy everybody, I believe, because, you know, I do think that, yes, as good as the show is, it doesn't only appeal to just hardcore fans like you and I. It also appeals to new faces, because as a corporation, you do want to bring in more fans. So obviously, you have to cater to the casuals and allow them to feel out what's going on first. But you can't also just judge Super, because there's so much more that has to come. I mean, just give it a chance. Even though we are going through the movie arcs, you have to also remember, like you said, many people out there haven't even seen Battle of Gods or Resurrection F yet, so give it a chance.
I actually have a friend who's never seen Battle of Gods, and he's really enjoying Super. Because
exactly, so just give it a chance. Once Resurrection F is over, then I believe we're going to start getting some really awesome stuff, because we went through both movies, and now it's time to, you know, just up the ante and really show what the show is going to be about. And just for me personally, Resurrection F, I really hope is also going to be an episodic thing, like to where it's maybe like 15, 20 episodes, because a lot has happened in Resurrection F. So wouldn't you want to know how Frieza became the way he was? Like, who became a Super Saiyan God first? Goku or Vegeta, in terms of reaching that next level and stuff. So I think that they ought to like just showcase that a lot more, because in Resurrection F, if you look at Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, you watched Resurrection F for the first time, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, how did they achieve that blue transformation? Like, what really happened here? And especially when Beerus walked up to Goku and Vegeta, he was like, wait a minute, how long have you guys been coming here? Because I've been sleeping this whole time, and you guys have been here how long? So I really hope that they explain that, like, hey, we've been coming here for, you know, X amount of time, and we've been doing this and this, and maybe even train with him, because I don't know about you, but in episode 14, when Beerus told everybody who's not going to be fighting, you know, step aside, Vegeta was the only one that was standing up against them, and he told Piccolo, he was like, I'm in control now. So I really hope they have a rematch, because those two have a lot of history, man.
Yeah, I really want to see more, like, I want to see the changes of, you know, Resurrection F's, like, you know, because they had a little bit of inconsistency in it, like Frieza saying that he's going to raise his power level to 1.3 million,
yeah.
and yes, that was in both Japanese and English, so it's not just the English dub. I know that a lot of people
everybody was baffled by that.
Yeah, it was in both, and I think that was either Akira forgetting how his power scaling had worked, but, you know, I want him to fix like small things like that, and obviously saying that Sorbet saying that, you know, Shisami and Tagoma are at the ranks of Zarbon and Dodoria at their peaks. I mean, Zarbon and Dodoria at their peaks at this moment are trash. They're
very
awful.
trash, yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that Shisame was even able to get a hit on Piccolo at that point, if he was, and Piccolo wasn't tired. I saw literally no scratches on Piccolo when he was starting to fight Shisame. Only after he started fighting Shisame did I see scratches. And the fact that Shisame was even able to like knock Piccolo down doesn't make any sense if he's as strong as Zarbon or Dodoria at their peaks after Piccolo was already fused with Kami. It
Absolutely.
makes no sense. Especially since I don't think Piccolo probably has stopped training. I doubt Piccolo would stop training. Out of everybody in the entire group, the only people I think that would never stop training are him and Tien, because those two are like always showing that they're always battle driven. Even Tien, who's a human and is like limited by that, still always training. He's training during the Cell Saga. Who else was training? I mean, all the Saiyans were, but then everybody else was pretty much just sitting around. Like, what was Yamcha doing? Yamcha was barely training. And we had, like, Tien sitting here training all the time. So, yeah, that's why Tien was one of the ones to fight in Battle of Gods, and Yamcha wasn't. And same thing in Super. And it's just like, that's what I think. I think that, personally, when Tien and all of them come in Resurrection F, I think that that's going to be really cool, but I really want to make sure to see that they're not going to be fighting Zarbon and Dodoria level, because that's not how strong they are. They're stronger than that.
I really hope not, and I really hope they focus more on the emphasis on power levels here, because as you said, raising your power up to 1 million, it doesn't match up here. It's like you've gone through, but then again, power levels don't really mean anything like within the entire series. But as you said, like Tien and Piccolo, to me it didn't make any sense when Chisame attacked Piccolo and he knocked him out for like a brief moment. So it was just like, really, like there was a certain moment when Piccolo was stronger than Super Saiyan Vegeta. What happened here? Like it doesn't add up. But let us know what you guys think down below in terms of, do you guys prefer the show or the movie? Because you'll be surprised on how many people are still going to say, well, the movie because of this or the show because of that. So, like, how do you guys feel overall about the structure of Dragon Ball Super thus far from episodes 1 to 14, carrying on from that Battle of Gods arc? Because now we're heading into Resurrection F, and things are definitely going to be changing up, for the better at least. But let us know what you guys think down below in terms of that, and what were some of your favorite moments, because I certainly had a bunch of favorite moments, like during Super, especially from episodes, I believe, 10 to 14. There were like little snippets here and there. I was just like, wow. But let us know what you guys think down below, and ZZ, if you may, you can go on ahead and add some things if you would.
All right, yeah. So everybody who's on my channel, go subscribe to UnrealEnt, and
everybody who's on my channel, you guys might want to go on ahead and check out Mr. ZzToastie and subscribe to him as well. The Dragon Ball community grows, and for those of you out there who hate Dragon Ball, I don't know what else to say. I would say give it a chance, try it out. Anime fans are going to be anime fans. Everybody critiques everybody. Some people say, well, Gundam's the best, or Yu Yu Hakusho's the best. For us, some of us feel like Dragon Ball Z is the epitome of anime today. But if you guys feel differently,
what was that? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I didn't even say Hunter x Hunter. What are you?
Well, for me at least, I believe that Dragon Ball, for me at least, is the epitome of anime, because I remember growing up, like the entirety, the structure of Dragon Ball had so much correlation from the characters. Like you can relate to so many characters, and each character has like a symbol of for example, Vegeta trains to become the best. Sometimes in real life you have that person who tries to be above you, or you have someone who's pretty much always one step ahead of you, and you train and you try your best to overcome that. And there are many characters in Dragon Ball that I feel like a lot of people hate as well. Some people say, well, I hate Goku because he's always the hero. Not really. I don't think Goku is always the hero, because did he beat Beerus in this one? No. Did he defeat Cell? Technically, no. Like, there were so many moments to where Goku, he was the main focus, but he was never the hero. In essence, to where he was like the main star.
The English dub, man, it messed people up. In the 90s dub, you remember the Sean Schemmel, speech to Frieza in the 90s?
Yes.
Like, ally to good.
Nightmare to you, yeah.
It's like, that really made him seem like a Superman clone.
Yes,
and
man.
That was really, like, it was fixed in Kai, or at least most of the part. But yeah, I honestly would say, for those of you out there, go watch Dragon Ball Z in Japanese if you ever find the time to. Because even though you may not like Masuko Naozawa's voice as Goku, it's a lot more truer to Akira's vision than the dub was from the 90s. And I know a lot of you love it, especially because of Bruce Faulconer. Maybe you don't like the music of Dragon Ball Z in Japanese, but man, if you really want to know the true story of Dragon Ball, which is the true story, I'm not saying that you need to watch this if you're a fan of it. Anyone's a fan of Dragon Ball, no matter what you like. You can like AF for who knows, who cares? I mean, honestly, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you're a fan of Dragon Ball, but compared to the 90s dub, even Kai, you can even watch Kai and you'll get a more sensible look at what Akira's vision originally was than what you would get by looking at the 90s dub. I mean, it has its good points in the 90s dub, but a lot of the script changes really make it into something different than what Akira originally planned it to be. Either you could do that or read the manga. Whatever you think is best, read the manga, watch the anime in Japanese, whatever suits you best. Honestly, those are both equally Akira's vision, and, you know, that's just what you get. That you'll get real Dragon Ball. And while you're at it, just rewatch or reread Dragon Ball itself, because Dragon Ball was amazing. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I'm not saying that you need to watch it if you want to be a real fan or whatever. You can be a fan no matter what you watch. It's just that's closer to Akira's vision. That's it.
No, absolutely. And for those of you out there that never gave Super a chance, give it a chance. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you know, just I would say just wait until, you know, certain things happen and you can just go on ahead and skip forward, because not everybody's going to watch the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F arc because they say that they've already seen it. Oh, we have the movies and stuff, so why watch it again? Why not watch it again? You know, things are different. But hey, for those of you out there, you know, that never watched Dragon Ball, again, as ZZ said, go back and watch Dragon Ball Z, the Japanese version. Go watch Kai, and you'll understand and get a better sense of like what's going on. And then after going into Dragon Ball Super, you're gonna have more of an understanding to where, you know, the direction and focus are. So once again, everybody, thank you all for watching. Like I said, for those of you out there watching me, you might want to go on ahead and check out Mr. ZzToastie. Let us know what you guys think down below, because everybody's gonna have a different opinion. And ZZ, you can take it away, my friend.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, we'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and later.
Peace.